Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, Rock and Roll Matty Goldberg.
Boys! For a second, I was like, Luke's here? I forgot.
I know. It's nice to be able to keep him in the show just a little bit while
he tricked me every time. I haven't heard from him.
His vacation.
He must be in a lake somewhere drinking an iced tea, looking at the sunset.
I think he's going off grid. What? I think he's living off the grid right now, Matty.
Why not? Too much information in this world.
No cell phone.
I love
no
it.
Technology. He locked all of his laptop, his cell phone in a Faraday cage. Is just living in the wilds of Michigan.
Like that movie, Into the Wild.
Exactly.
True story. Where the guy dies.
Exactly like that movie. It's only a matter of time before he comes back and regales us with tales of eating wild animals raw.
Our wolves eating him.
True.
Kill or be killed. By the way, sad loss in the world of wrestling this week. The Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. He was like a booker for WCW he was part of that Who Killed the WCW. He kind of looked like a fat Hulk Hogan in his prime. I don't know if you remember Kevin, but
no, he looked good. He looked like a hell of a character in the documentary.
Yeah, I mean, he was part of wrestling, history, Sad day. A sad day today, too.
Well, you got me thinking now, Matty. It's only a matter of probably 10 years or maybe a little more for the Attitude Era guys to just start falling like flies.
Don't fucking say that.
It's just
Who's first to get? Well, Razor's gone. I mean, he's kind of part of that. I mean, Goldberg's got to see his son play it for Dion.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels is a born-again Christian. I think X-Pac is the next to die.
Go to an offshore and we'll do a little death pool betting.
Also, Stuttering John retired today from the internet.
Again?
Yeah, yes. This is number 10. He gave a hell of a speech.
It was a hell of a run for Stuttering John.
You keep fucking with my mother. You do this. You do that. You send me this. They got my gigs canceled. They got me fired. There's only one man a man can take.
Over under days until he comes back.
I would say the amazing thing about him is that there's times he's he's gone for good. One time he even made a montage of him as a child to him now. And he wrote a song about how he's misunderstood. And it was not well received by the internet. And he was back the next day. And then it was he always does I lie to you, everybody, so. But he was saying he's gone, so we'll see. And something else, JJ McCarthy's out.
I was going to say, Matty, the top of the list I have on my topics is JJ McCarthy out for the season, torn meniscus.
Oh, this is what I wanted to say. He looked darn good.
He looked really good in the preseason.
And I was thinking what happened, that sometimes when things get too hyped up, they ruin things. You ever see Jaws?
Yeah, I love Jaws.
So you know that scene where the little kids are pretending to be the shark?
Mm-hmm.
And then the real shark, and they're like, yeah, whatever, it's fake. Right?
Yeah, I remember, yep.
So I would say 3 years ago, that was the quarterback class in the NFL with Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance. We all thought they were going to be so good. So now this year we're yeah, whatever. We're tired of being fooled. We'll see what these guys have. But I really feel this quarterback class has the making to really be special. Will I be fooled again?
Maybe. I mean, the last one, so the guys who are getting paid right now are all out of the 2020 class, Joe Burrow, Tua, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts.
That's a darn good class.
Yeah, those guys are all the 2020 class.
Yeah. So then the Zach Wilson is what, 2022?
I think Zach Wilson was
23 maybe?
No, I think he was either 22 or 21.
22. So you had Trevor Lawrence, You had Trey Lance.
Zach Wilson was 21. That was
Okay,
2021.
Okay, so that's Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones.
Yes.
4 guys are on the bench.
That's a rough one.
Yeah. And we all thought like this was going to be like a sick quarterback class. And so now we don't really talk about it as much because we know like, more than there'll be more busts. Everybody's like, Jaden Daniels looks amazing. And McCarthy looked great. Caleb Williams looked really good. I mean, who else is in that class?
I heard mixed things about Bo Nix.
He looked good. Michael Penix looked good. Drake May looked good. I mean, Drake May only
what's the guy's name? The other Patriots quarterback.
Joe
from
Milton.
Tennessee. Yeah, Joe Milton looked good.
So now Joe Milton, like, he's like Mr. Trick Shot though. Like he can throw a ball.
He's got that he's got the distance down hand like
he can probably throw a ball 80 yards from his knees.
Probably.
And he's doing backflips and it's a lot of fun. It looks like Bailey Zapp will probably get cut. But I always like the idea of drafting 2 quarterbacks. Like the Commanders/Redskins did it when they drafted Kirk Cousins and the kid from Baylor.
RG3.
Hurt his knee. Very sad about RG3. He's the one guy that like I would have loved to see what he could have done with.
He would have been fun.
Yes, he would have been. He would have had a great career. But
you know who's not having a good preseason is Stetson Bennett.
Yes, I watched that game.
Hey, they won.
Yeah, no wonder why he's drinking and doing drugs. I mean, it's a step up. Like I thought about like I think we talked about it last week. He's a total like country bumpkin. He's from Georgia. He's got the Georgia belt buckle. He always seemed really uncomfortable doing interviews. So like I imagine when he came to LA, it was like welcome to the jungle, where he's actually always stepping off the bus. First thing that happens, somebody offers to sell him some drugs. He sees a hooker walking by, and it's like, you know where you are? You're in the jungle, and you're going to throw a lot of picks. You're not in Georgia anymore, buddy.
Hey, my boy Luis Perez looked good, though, for the Chargers.
Oh, boy.
He did.
I'll tell you what. You know what Matthew Stafford needs? I mean, no, Stetson Bennett needs.
What's he need?
He needs a little Kelly Stafford.
Ooh, yeah, he does.
He loves to date them backup quarterbacks.
It's darn right she does.
Yeah.
That sucks for JJ, though. I mean, hopefully he'll be back next year. What do you think of Sam Darnold going in then as the actual? Now he's just the starter. There's no other competition.
It's good for him because he has nobody breathing down his back. I mean, it's clearly his job. It's clearly his job to lose. I don't really believe in Jarrell that much. Who's the other guy they got? The guy Nate Mullins still?
Yeah, it's Jaron Hall and Nick Mullins.
So Dobbs is gone.
Yep.
I mean, they don't have a lot, but like, I would hate to be a veteran quarterback, knowing that your team drafted a quarterback. Everybody wants that guy. Everybody's like, get him in. Week 1, you have 2 bad series. You know what the crowd's going to be chanting. Like, now you can relax because they know they don't have a better option.
Mm-hmm.
So he can really show what he is. It's even like, I feel like even Kirk Cousins feels like I'm keeping that seat warm for a guy. Like, part of my job is to train Penix because I think Atlanta's so high on him.
I think so. And Penix, like, the good thing with McCarthy, with him going down instead of a guy like Penix, JJ McCarthy's not that old.
No.
He's 21.
The last 2 greatest quarterbacks are Mahomes and Brady. And what did they do their first year? Nothing, because they didn't play. So it's not the worst thing to sit. It really isn't. It's really not the worst thing. You're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. The Packers are better. The Lions look like they're a Super Bowl contender. The Bears will be better. You're not a Super Bowl contender this year. It's not the worst thing. It sucks, but two of the best quarterbacks of all time sat there for a full season and did okay. So it just
Facts,
sucks.
Matty.
You're as a fan though, you're excited because it's like this shiny new toy that you have, and now the toy is gone for a year, and you don't. It's kind of confusing.
It's delayed gratification because now you have to wait and see a whole year. And who
Yeah.
knows? What if you get like another great draft spot?
Well, the other thing is, how bad can a quarterback be with those weapons? I mean, they got weapons up the wazoo. They got a great tight end. They got JJ. They got Aaron Jones is a really good running back.
Yep.
Addison Reed's a great second wide receiver. I mean, you have weapons. So
Watch out for Sam Darnold is all I'm going to say.
look, I've seen guys do very well in this position. You know,
Matty, how's Hard Knocks been? I want your Hard Knocks takes after
Well,
they've had 2 episodes, right?
they cut out the cursing, so I
Trying
can
to
watch
be more
with my
family
nephew.
friendly.
Yeah, my nephew and I watched it, and I love the Nick Saban stuff, but it
good.
scares me because look, obviously the show is edited so well, but I find their coach to be a dullard. Like
Eberflus?
he seems like a nice man. Like he seems like a very nice man. He even seems like even as an ex-football player, and you saw him wreck shit up at the MAC at Toledo. He played on Tuesdays. He had the MAC going.
He's been in the trenches.
He seems like a guy that, like, if you date his daughter, even though he's a football player, you wouldn't be that scared. That makes sense.
Yeah, he seems like kind of a goober.
Yeah, like he's a nice guy. I don't know how nice guys do in coaching.
I guess it works sometimes.
I don't think it works.
It's to be seen. I was still surprised they didn't fire him.
Well, he doesn't. Sometimes it's like if you don't really have that strong of a super quarterback, you say, listen, let's give you a quarterback and see what you can do. But now, like, there has to be a major improvement or else he's gone for sure. Like, there has to be, I would say, 8-9 wins.
I'd say you got to be getting close to dang 10. You got to be like
9 or 10.
You got to be like maybe a field goal or 2 away from 10 wins. You got to be close.
So, I like Caleb. He seems like a good guy. I like Rome. I like DJ Moore. Their wide receivers are sick.
Their weapons are sick.
The star of the show was the Canadian guy who stripped down to the Eagle Speedo thong and sang proud to be an American. That was the highlight of
It was beautiful.
week 1.
It brought a tear to my eye.
He came back in week 2, and he one-upped that. I will not give you a spoiler, but this week they had him come up again, and he was hysterical.
I can't wait.
Yeah, because he kind of tells, like, what's happened to him in the last week.
Hell yes.
He's getting a lot of offers from you-know-what.
As he should.
Yes, and the team loves it. Yeah.
Pretty good season then.
Yeah, like, I think last year was more fun because Aaron Rodgers is such a whack job. And it was kind of like the Aaron Rodgers show. The Bears are not as many personalities. And unfortunately, Matt Eberflus is just too nice of a guy.
It'd be better if he was a dick. I agree.
Rex
He was
Ryan,
like more of a character because he's just kind of like a bland dude.
I guess, but like Rex Ryan was made for that show.
Yes.
Like the first speech of Rex Ryan on that show, just like, whatever. And like, let's get a goddamn snack. Is one of the greatest Hard Knocks moments of all time.
Matty, speaking of preseason, how have you been liking the new kickoff?
I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. and I got cheese stuck in my throat. I know this is very unprofessional. This is my favorite cheese.
What kind of cheese?
This is Jarlsberg cheese. It's Norwegian Swiss.
Ooh.
I recommend it. It has got such a kick. I've been eating this since I'm 6. It's like the only cheese I eat is a Jarlsberg. It's Norwegian Swiss. It is. You can find this at Trader Joe's or any grocery store. Jim, next time you have a caricature board, what do they call those?
Charcuterie board?
A charcuterie board. I highly recommend the Jarlsberg.
I'll add that to my list of cheeses.
Yes. I mean, most people go with cheddar and provolone and
Throw
mozzarella.
some pepper jack in there.
Yeah, a little pepper. Jarlsberg for your charcuterie board
Okay.
is number 1. But, I like it that there's not as many injuries, but there's not going to – it's so hard to return a kick for a touchdown.
But they have been returning them more.
Has there been one yet?
No, I'm just saying in general they've just been returning the ball more. There's been like
They haven't
80% of the
returning-
balls have been returned.
But we haven't seen like a guy break it. It just seems very hard. I mean, the play is back in action. I also say, like, you want to get rid of the onside kick, you got to put in like the XFL 4th and 20.
Do what the UFL does.
Yeah,
Just do a
just
fourth.
do it.
Just do like a 4th and 18.
It will make the game so much more fun.
I agree
I
100%.
Like, because onside kicks are what, like 2%, 5%?
It's something super low like that. And
I
the
think-
way they do
yeah.
them, the way you have to do them now is you have to declare an onside kick.
I
You
know.
can't just sneak one in.
I think a 4th and 18 will go to like 15 to 18%.
I think they said so. The UFL does a 4th and 12, and I think those
Yeah.
hit at like 27 to 30%.
But in that case, they're looking for like that crazy action.
And
Yeah,
you can only do them if you're like the team that's down. You can't do them if you're already up.
True.
So it's
But
it's a comeback mechanic.
I say you can do it anytime, 4th and 15. You can do it while you're up. I mean, I don't know why you would want to do it if you're up.
I agree with you, Matty. I think 4th and 15 kind of makes it risky. 4th and 15 from your own
25.
25. It makes
I
it
mean,
risky enough.
I mean, when you're doing an onside kick, you're in desperation mode anyway, so it doesn't really matter what yard you're at. And you'd only probably do it if you're down. Maybe it's like some crazy coach will start figuring out that if you do it every time.
Well, there's always that one team that does like a surprise one in week 2 or 3 or something.
Yeah. Super aggressive. Mike Tomlin.
I think people get used to the kickoffs. I think some coach will scheme something up to make it interesting. It's just gonna be wonky and weird at first.
Look, I don't want guys to get hurt, but I'm saying like
I just want more returns. I want less fair catches.
There'll
and
be more returns, but I'm going to say there will be under 4 return for a touchdown all season,
I agree with that.
and that's kind of low. You want about 10 or 12. It also changes my betting because I always like to bet defensive touchdowns for both teams. You get it like 5-6 to 1.
Yeah.
That should be higher because special teams counts. And now you're going to lose that. Like, you should get better odds now.
So special teams did count for that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to see how many.
Look, Jim, I'm telling you, one of the best bets you can do to hedge your bets on Sunday is getting a lot of defensive touchdown bets, like team touchdown bet.
Just I do a lot of first touchdown bets.
Oh, I do that too. Who's our guy on the Chargers?
I was going big on Parham a few years ago.
Donald Parham, baby. That's my guy. He's hit like 4 weeks in a row.
Matty, how many kick returns for touchdowns do you think there were last year?
I'm going to say 8.
4.
Wow.
Half that. There was 4.
So there'll probably only be 2 this year.
2 of them for Houston.
Interesting. Same
Andrew
guy?
Beck for Houston and Damian Pierce.
Interesting.
And then Jalen Reagor got one.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, over with the
Huge
Patriots.
first round bust.
Ugh. I'm excited though. Other than that, I did see an article that the Browns are having trouble. This is my first hearing of it. I didn't know the Browns were even trying to do a new stadium. I guess the Browns are trying to do a dome. I don't know how I feel about Cleveland in a dome.
No.
I hate it.
Look, I understand like Minnesota and Michigan because it's so fucking cold.
The Packers don't do it.
True. There is something
the Bills?
about true. I don't know.
I think if you're in the Midwest, you shouldn't have a dome.
It's money though, you know?
Yeah, obviously
money
the fan
talks,
you'd get more fans if you build a dome.
Yeah. Well, you just get more things like more luxury boxes, more amenities.
And you could probably do more events outside of football too.
Yeah. But I do like football being like, you know, I love when it's cold out and that's part of the, you know.
I like the elements playing a factor.
I agree.
Like, not just cold, like, weather games, but what about, like, rainstorms? Monsoon games are great.
I agree. I agree with you. I mean, I'm not a cold guy. That's the thing, though. I'm like, who am I to judge?
I can deal with it, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
You put Jason Tatum in the notes.
Yes. So he didn't play a lot in the Olympics. And there's a lot of controversy. Stephen A. Smith was mad at Steve Kerr. Like, how can you bench this guy? I'm like, what? You know, look, can't play. Like, there's too many talented guys on that team. Somebody's got to be the odd man out. They happen to be Tatum. You know what you do if you're Tatum? The Warriors aren't going to be very good next year. Might be a little above average. Just beat the fuck out of them. Just beat the fuck out of Steve Kerr's team. Just kill them.
Run the score up.
Run the score up. But I don't know. I maybe I'm maybe this is like over this controversy.
I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with you. Kerr was messing around with the lineup a little too much. He was doing weird things with it. Mm-hmm. But also with that many stars on there, someone's gonna have to like sit on the bench.
Yeah. I mean, it's just weird because, like, he's a better player than Derek White. Derek White's more of, like, a role player guy.
But you can't just have stars out on the court.
I get it. And that's why Derek White played more. Kind of Tatum is behind Booker because they're kind of the same player. They're very similar in their games. So if you go with Booker, you know. But I felt bad. I mean, you come out there, you're such a big part of your NBA champion team. You probably deserve to play a little more, but I mean, I didn't even watch the games that closely. I watched like the championship game. I watched the game against Serbia, which was good. Serbia gave a hell of a game.
How much of the Olympics did you end up watching?
Besides that, maybe 20 minutes of USA soccer, 2 minutes of women's skateboarding.
Did you catch the breakdancing?
No. 30. I'll let you get to that. 30 seconds of table tennis, which gave me like a headache.
Oh, dude, table tennis is a weird one to watch.
That and badminton. Badminton, I'm like, sometimes I like watching TV when I sleep, and I'll watch old baseball games from the 80s and 90s to fall asleep. And so I'm like, I'll watch the Olympics. And badminton was on, and it was like, I'm like, this is giving me a fucking blood rush.
I love watching table tennis, though, but I can only watch table tennis
if you got money on it.
No, if it's dark out. Because every time I did watch it was when I had money on it, and it would be like 2 a.m.
Did you ever watch the doubles?
Yeah, I've seen, yeah.
When do you think pickleball becomes an Olympic sport?
Oh, please never.
Pickleball is huge out here.
I know, it's huge here, too.
Really? It even got to Nebraska.
Old people love it here, and just people in general. I hate it.
By the way, my nephew's outside. He's, like, fantasizing either football or basketball. I can hear him announcing.
I hate pickleball, Matty.
It's a yuppie sport.
It's pick tennis or table tennis. Pick one or the other. You don't get
Table tennis.
Yeah, it's table tennis all day.
It's like pool. Pick pool or pocket pool. You ever played pocket pool?
No, what's that?
That's when you jerk your hands off through your pocket.
I like that.
Yeah.
I caught a little bit of the breakdancing. Very entertaining. We did get an all zeros when the Australian female
zeros
contender. She got 0 points.
So I saw she was not really doing breakdancing though. I saw like a second of it.
She was
like
just
I saw
vibing.
a meme. Did they do the stuff like with the cardboard boxes and everything?
I think they had like a special surface maybe for the platform they were dancing on.
When I was in college, I was like 99 or 2000. So breakdancing was really big, probably 83 to about 87. It was massive. And then what they do is you would get cardboard boxes, you'd flatten them out, and you'd make a big thing with it. And one time in college, I didn't do this, but I wanted to do this so bad. There was like 5 or 6 kids in my college that could fucking break dance. And everybody's watching them and like everybody's clapping like this. And I was like to my friend, like, I'm going to jump in. I wanted to so fucking bad, but I didn't. It would
be a different place if Matty Goldberg had shown his breakdancing skills.
Well, I was pretty bad, but I know like the spin and then you go like this at the end.
That would have been I would have paid to see that.
Yeah. I was trying to get some cheap trim, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I definitely know what you're saying. Matty, I think finally, in honor of this being the last weekend without college football until January, we should do the people a favor and pick a winner for each Power 4 conference.
That's good.
And
but
again, we're not just going to pick who we think is going to win for sure. I think we should pick who has pick based on the odds too. So
let me just say one thing.
Go ahead.
We're doing this Wednesday, and in 3 days is Saturday.
And then a week from Saturday is the season.
This is the last Saturday, Jim. You got a girlfriend. You need to take her pumpkin picking, raspberry picking.
Take her out to a nice restaurant. We actually are going to the rodeo this weekend.
Camping with no internet.
We're going to the rodeo this weekend here in town.
You need to visit grandparents at old age homes.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Saturday. This is the weekend to do it. Because after this, there's only 4 or 5 games in 2 weeks. It's still on like donkey. Like it starts.
Yep.
Your life changes.
This is the last weekend without college football until January.
It's crazy.
It's beautiful.
And it starts over. Like everything changes. Like you feel like you have less free time. Time moves faster.
Time moves so much faster. Once the college football season starts, it's December like that.
Not only that, like the NFL, you're like, it's week 9.
Yep.
What the fuck? And I'm one of those guys, like everybody's like the Super Bowl. I'm like, give me week 3.
Give me the regular season. Yeah. College football, give me week 4.
Yeah. Well, week 1 kind of lame, but still.
Mid-season, like
you're still going to get 2 or 3 good games.
Give me the middle of October in college football. That's the best.
Oh, like that first LSU Bama game, a good Tennessee, like you get that doubleheader, like Tennessee, Georgia. Then you get a Saturday night.
You get an Ohio State, Oregon this year.
Ooh, you get a good Saturday night. USC, fucking Washington or whatever. But we'll go through the 4. A lot less conferences. Who do you like in the Pac-12?
Well, actually, so you want in the Pac-2, Matty?
Yeah, who do you like in the Pac-2?
Give me Washington State. I like Washington State. Did not lose their head coach. Didn't lose a lot of players. Give me Washington State.
Fish is at Washington.
Yeah, that's not Washington State.
No, I know.
That's got nothing to do with the Pac-2.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is weird that he's there. I thought Arizona was. I think
what
Arizona's
conference are they in? Are they in the? Is what Washington's in the Big Ten now?
Yeah, Washington's in the Big Ten.
Yeah, crazy.
So we'll start with the ACC, Matty.
Okay.
I'm going off the odds on DraftKings. So you tell me a team that you want to know the odds for, and I'll tell you.
Okay, I think Clemson has to make a comeback. Like
Plus
they have
350
to win their conference.
Yeah, they are plus 350 to win the conference.
Who
I
else
actually
is in
really
the
do like
conference?
Clemson
Duke?
this year.
Duke?
What?
Who else is in the conference? Duke.
So I'll go through all the Matty. I'll just list all the teams, and if you want to know the odds,
Sure.
just ask me.
Okay.
So in the ACC, Florida State, Clemson, Miami, Florida, NC State, Louisville, Virginia Tech, SMU now, Southern Methodist is in the ACC, North Carolina, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Cal.
What about
Cal
Notre
is in the ACC, Pittsburgh, Boston College, Wake Forest, Virginia, Duke, and Stanford.
This is so bizarre.
It's going to be a weird year of college football.
You're like, Cal is in the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Stanford as well.
Because they're on the Atlantic Coast, right?
Totally, yeah. They're on
Why
the
don't they open another campus in North Carolina?
I switched it from the ACC, meaning Atlantic, to the All Coast Conference.
So bizarre. The only team that is Florida State. Did they bring their quarterback?
No, they got DJU from Oregon State, formerly of
So
Clemson.
he's Clemson.
Clemson to Oregon State to now Florida State.
How old is he now? 30?
He's like 24, 25.
This is getting into Adrian Martinez territory. Yeah, Florida State, give me those.
Florida State's plus 290.
I'm going to say Florida State edges out Clemson. I don't know what the new Clemson recruits are, but you know what? I'm going to go with Clemson.
I took a flyer here. Their schedule's super favorable. I think they can make the championship game.
Yeah.
And then they only need to win one of them. I took Virginia Tech plus 1,000.
Did you take Clemson too or no?
I like Clemson a lot, but plus 350, I didn't like the number. I like Virginia Tech.
Yeah, it's a very small number.
Give me
Plus
Virginia
Florida.
Tech versus Clemson in the ACC championship. I'm going to have Virginia Tech winning it.
Fair enough.
Moving on, Matty. Up next on the sheet, it's the Big Ten. You want me to go through all the teams again?
I'll say Ohio State. What's that?
Plus 155.
What is Michigan?
Plus 700.
So they're going to take a step back.
I feel like they have to, right?
Because they're rebuilding too.
Plus 8,000.
Whoa. So they got nobody. They're starting over.
Matty, they're not only that, they lose their receivers, they lose Michael Penix, their entire offensive line is gone.
Yeah, run me through some of the teams.
So Ohio State plus 155, Oregon, Penn State, Michigan, USC, Iowa, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Washington, Maryland, UCLA, Minnesota, Illinois, Northwestern, Michigan State, Indiana, and Purdue.
What is Nebraska at?
Nebraska is plus 5,500.
What is the second one closest to Ohio State?
Oregon at plus 200.
So it's basically Oregon, Ohio State.
Then it jumps up to Penn State, Michigan, at around plus
I don't
500,
believe in
plus
Penn
700.
State.
I don't either.
They're done. They're frauds. Enough of them.
They could very easily make the playoffs, but I just don't ever see them winning the
every
conference.
year they're like, oh, this is the year they take that next step. James Franklin. I haven't seen shit. Sorry. So, I guess I got to go Ohio State. I was a little disappointed in Dan Lanning last year because they probably
were
might
close.
have a better team all together versus Washington last year, and they lost to them twice.
I'm going Ohio State for this one just because I think Ohio State's the best team in the country.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State's going to win the national championship this year.
Hate to say it.
If I'm going on a flyer, if you want a long shot for the Big Ten, Iowa at plus 3,500, don't hate it.
That's a long shot. Buddy.
What I did bet was Iowa to make the playoffs at plus 700.
Is their offense going to be better?
It has to be.
Is Caitlin Clark on the team?
No, but Cade McNamara, the old Michigan quarterback from a few years ago,
Wow.
he's still there.
Yeah.
Matty, the SEC, the Southeastern Conference.
We got so is Texas there now?
Yep. Plus 320.
What about Bama?
Plus 750.
So they take a little step back with a new coach. What about Florida?
Plus, they are 120 to 1.
Whoa. What happened to that program?
Actually, he's on the hot seat. He's actually like one of the favorites for first coach to get fired this year.
Okay. So would you say Texas?
I would say Texas is a good shot, but it's hard for me not to see Texas taking a step back this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, they got their quarterback.
They got their quarterback, but they lose like their running back and a bunch of their receivers and their defensive tackles that were like all world. Like they'll still be really, really good. Don't get me wrong.
They recruit so well.
Alabama's not bad at plus 750. If you trust Kalen DeBoer.
New coaching staff. It usually takes a year or two.
Tennessee at plus 1,500 is intriguing.
Yeah, who's your quarterback this year?
Who was Tennessee?
Must be a new guy. I don't understand why Arch Manning didn't transfer there. It would be a perfect spot for him.
Nico. It's Nico. Nico Iamaleava.
I don't know him.
I believe.
How many teams is Dylan Gabriel on? And what team is Dylan Gabriel on this year?
He's on Oregon.
It's like his 7th team.
Yeah, he's been on a bajillion teams.
Ridiculous.
Texas. I mean, my pick, like Georgia's probably the favorite for a reason.
Oh yeah, Georgia. What's Georgia?
Plus 190.
Yeah, I'll go with Georgia.
I'll go with Alabama.
I'll go with Georgia.
I'll go with Alabama plus 750.
Okay.
Ole Miss is plus 650.
I think Ole Miss, Texas, Georgia, and Bama all make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, it could happen.
These are the top 12, right?
It's the 4 P4 conference champions,
and then 8 at large.
And then then the highest ranked group of 5 gets an automatic bid, and then that's 7 at large.
There's 16 teams?
No, you get your 5 and then 7 at large. There's
so
5 automatic bids and then 7 at large.
Okay. All right.
Last but not least, Matty, it's the Big 12.
So we lost Texas.
Lost Texas and Oklahoma.
We still have Colorado. Oh, Colorado went there.
Colorado's back to the Big 12.
Okay.
Plus 2,800 for Colorado.
What about Oklahoma State?
Oklahoma State is plus 750.
Who's the number 1 team?
Utah, plus 320.
What about TCU?
TCU is plus 1,800.
So Utah's got that quarterback with the long hair, right?
They got Cam Rising back again.
Yeah, he's been hurt a lot, but he's very good.
He's been really good when he played.
If Cam Rising's healthy, they got it.
Also, he's 25.
It's crazy.
This is like year 7 for Cam Rising.
How did COVID give these guys
it's COVID plus injuries. It's COVID plus injuries for a lot.
Now there's a new thing with injuries.
Well, you get like an extra year if you don't play so many games.
Are these guys that taking classes or what? What's going on here?
I don't know, dude.
I'll take Utah.
You'll take Utah at plus 320. I took a shot. I took Iowa State plus 950.
Do you think another team gets in the top 12 besides the winner of that conference?
Yeah, I think most of the P4, I think everyone gets multiple teams in.
They have to.
I don't think there's a shot that one conference gets like a shitload more. Like I think the ACC, so if you get the 4 champions, the 5s, that leaves 7 between 4 conferences. I think each conference gets at least 1 at large. The SEC and Big Ten might get an extra 1
has to come. 2 have to come from each conference. Are you sure about that?
No, your one conference has to be short unless you get another group of 5 team in there.
Because I'm saying that there's no team that's going to come from the Big 12 besides the champion.
No, I think there's probably at least one more. I think K-State has a shot. I think Oklahoma State has a shot.
But it's not a mandatory.
No, but it's not mandatory for any other conference either.
I'm going to say only one team comes in from that conference.
I'm going to say two. I'm going to say two.
I'm going to say one, and I'm going to say
Utah?
two or three from the ACC, and then the rest will be Big Ten, SEC.
Well, that if you say only one comes from here, oh, you're including the automatic ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to say one from the Big 12, two from the ACC, the rest from the SEC and Big Ten.
I'm going to say two from the Big 12,
Maybe
two from
Notre
the
Dame.
ACC. Notre Dame probably should get in with their schedule. And that leaves, so that's 2, 4, 5, 6, and then, the rest from the Big Ten and SEC. So that's 3 from each one.
I'm just going to look at the first games real quick.
You want to look at week 1?
Yeah, let's look at week 0.
It's a stinker of a week.
We'll call it, it always is, right?
We get the doubling game. Florida State versus Georgia Tech should be good.
Yes. Missouri's very good.
Missouri is really good. They return a lot. They return a lot, too.
This is so, you're so excited. But, some of these games are going to be absolute,
just blow. There's a couple.
Besides Florida State and Georgia Tech, because at least Georgia Tech's, Power 5 football, these are kind of cupcakes. Do you really believe? Well, I'm only looking at the top 25. Let me look at the rest.
Well, there's only, Matty, week 0 only has 4 games.
See, you're really into No, there's more than that, right?
No, week 0 only has the 4.
No, you're right. Okay, so I'm looking at it right here. Florida State, Georgia Tech is probably the best game.
Montana State, New Mexico has the potential because Montana State's a really good FCS.
See, that's for you to watch. I'll sit that one out. That's a psychopath game to watch. I go there with the NFL. I'll watch the before they had Thursday football, they would have 3 or 4 Thursday games a year, and they always had the Jaguars versus the Titans. And it was the shittiest game. This is long before Trevor Lawrence, long before Derrick Henry. And it was of course they're going to give you that game on Thursday night. So some of these games I got to skip,
We'll obviously talk more about it in 2 weeks when it is week 1. I will say Clemson, Georgia is exciting for week 1.
What is your lady going to think about when you're knee-deep Saturday, 40 games going?
She's gonna
betting,
live Maddie, you want to hear a confession from me?
Sure.
I'm probably going to have to scale back NFL time on Sundays.
That I understand. You're doing the right thing.
I'll have to give up Sundays or something.
I totally get it, and I won't hold it against you. I totally get it.
Okay.
One of the coolest things, I'm not going to steal this, but I remember reading this old Bill Simmons column about sports, and some guy had a great idea. He said during the football season, every 4 weeks, the week should be just no football. And it's called Save the Marriage Week. So when your wife's what the fuck? You're hey, this weekend, let's take the kids ice skating.
The concession I do for that, if she wants to do stuff on Saturdays every once in a while.
Yeah.
It has preferably at least at the very least a Nebraska bye week.
Sure. Look at you. You're flipping out right now. You're figuring out in your fucking head.
I'm doing the calculations because she's gonna want to go to the pumpkin patch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Ooh, Miami and Florida play week 1.
Week 1 or week 0?
Week 1. Week 0 is just those 4 games. I'm just looking ahead to week 1.
Well, these are tough. These are tough. That's why it's it is what it is. I'm at the age where look.
Notre Dame, Texas A&M's a great game.
Oh yeah, and Jimbo Fisher's gone.
And then we get Sunday night college football too, week 1.
There's Sunday night college. Oh yeah, I love that week.
USC LSU. Sunday night.
Game Sunday night, and then you get a game Monday.
Yeah, week 1's fun for that.
Yeah. I think one of the greatest games I ever bet, I bet on UCLA. It was either a Sunday night or a Monday that week, and they were down they were -3.
I remember that game, Matty. I remember
down
that game.
35-3 or something.
Oh, it was so good.
Josh Rosen, the Jewish hero, never made it in the NFL.
I think that was UCLA Texas A&M.
Yeah, it was a great game.
God,
no, it wasn't Texas A&M. It was.
Was it? It was an SEC school, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a mid SEC team that wasn't like.
No, it was. I think it was Texas A&M.
It was 2017.
Was it?
But I had UCLA, and I'm like, all right, I lost.
On September 3rd, 2017, Texas A&M.
Okay, so I was like, yeah, I lost, whatever, this sucks. And then you're like, okay, this is getting interesting. And I not only did I win, I covered the fucking spread.
And Jim Mora got fired that year.
Yeah, he sucked. His defense was horrible. He was never a good college coach. He had
He's still a college coach, Matty.
Who's he coach now?
He's the coach at UConn.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He's trying. Nobody can win at UConn. Nobody has figured that out yet. It will take somebody though. It's always there's places that nobody can win, and then somebody does it.
Matt, you got my juices all flowing, and we got to get out of here. I think that's.
Well, you got your other pick'em shows. You're gonna be you and your buddies gonna pick every game for the.
So we just on mine and Chase's show, the Gymnasium. We just finished picking week 14, the final week of the college football season. We picked every game, the entire season.
Arkansas won.
So I'm going through and tallying everything up right now. I'm pretty sure we had Arkansas going 10-2 and Nebraska going 11-1. 11-1, I think.
In the championship. Yeah. I love it.
But we just finished the ACC conference preview as well.
And that's in 2029 season?
No, that's this season coming up.
Oh, I figured you'd be ready.
Dylan Raiola is going to change the world.
Oh, by the way, my nephew loves Patrick Mahomes. So I'm like, you got to see this quarterback in college. He's like young. And he loved it.
Damn right.
He loved it. All right, Jimbo, we'll see you next. Oh, by the way, other sad news. Sam in The Bachelorette, he was a really good villain. He got kicked off the show. Thought I'd let you guys know. In case
shame.
Biggest, saddest news. Even worse than Stuttering John.
Well, I'm going to go watch some Hard Knocks and enjoy myself. Matty,
You're going to love, I forget what the guy's name, the guy from his nickname is the Eagle. But he's on the show for about a minute this week, and he steals the episode.
That's beautiful.
I don't laugh at a lot of stuff because it takes a lot for me to laugh. He made me laugh really hard.
I love it.
So look out. Text me after you watch it because it's great this week.
I'll hit you up. See you. Goodbye, everybody. Enjoy the Sports Hole. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.